All right. So, normally YouTube commenters don't even get to hear back from me. Well, on my VODs channel because I don't check it too often because I don't have time. But there is typically some brain fucking rot comments on stuff like this. I reviewed RE4 Remake. It's a 40-minute review. I did it yesterday, the day before. And so we're going to look at some of the special comments. And I will tell you guys what kind of person we are reading a comment from. Thank you, Kusanagi. I'm sure most of them are fine, but we're going to go over a few of them and see. I skimmed it last night and I seen some fucking gold. So I was like, all right, I got to show this on stream. Give me 1 second though, and I will do this. All right. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna surf the comments. Thank you, Kusanagi. Remake Code Veronica, please. Agreed. I'm a bit annoyed. Bach disagree with the difficulty, but still put agree. Well, Elliot Watson, let me tell you something. And since you commented on that, I'm sure you're this kind of person. So I talked about how I personally wanted a nightmare mode that was impossibly hard for super tryhards like me with thousands of hours in the game. That isn't healthy for a video game. So yes, I put agree because as a sane human in the 99.9% of people, you don't want that. And that's not healthy for the game. And it's just me who wanted that, which I explained in the video. So you're angry because you just didn't understand the words that were coming out of my mouth. Or annoyed, sorry. Return to Survival Horror, great game. Bit too actiony. Sure, Elliot. Yeah, I'll give you a pass on that one. People say there was no U3, but you see him. All right. He was sent after 8 in the remake. True. He's probably going to be in separate ways. Okay, as a PS4 player, I really enjoyed the game. See, this is important. See, this person is intelligent. This person has a brain. I'm sure a lot of people down here don't have a brain, but this person has a brain. You know, as a PS4 player, so they acknowledge two things. They're playing on an obsolete console that probably makes the game run like shit, and they're playing on controller. And this game is hard on controller. It has arguably bad controls on controller, making the game a less fun experience. So look, this is an example of someone that's self-aware and aware in general. So this is great. Go JoeCal. Valid opinion. I've been holding off on RE4 Remake because I didn't think the game needed a remake, question mark. I had the same thought while playing Dead Space Remake. Like, did this really need a remake? Or is this just a corporation milking a known safe IP for free money for a new console generation? RE4 Remake looks like an improvement over the original in most respects, so it's not like it's a shameless cash grab, but I don't know. Compared to RE2R and RE3R, highlight that one, which both deviated from the originals in important ways for better or for worse, RE4 Remake feels less innovative. So, well, a couple things on that. Now, you're entitled to your own opinion, but I'm entitled to my opinion on your opinion. That's not necessarily true. RE4 Remake feels less innovative than 2 and 3. It's more innovative than both 2 and 3. Where 3 Remake... 2 Remake, anyone that knows this topic can just put the pieces together and see that this comment is just sort of an emotional comment as opposed to a critical comment of RE4 Remake. But RE3 Remake, yeah, it deviated from the original. It added a sewer, it reused a major asset from RE2 Remake, which was the lab, and it cut 4 massive areas. So, sure, it deviated from the original in the worst way possible. Unless you like paying $80 for 5-hour games and being happy with I definitely would have preferred another game in the series, but I understand why this is an emotional comment too, because, you know, people don't want remakes anymore, a lot of people. But see, I always ask, if you didn't like if you are mad about remakes, but you enjoyed RE2 and 3 Remake and 4, or one of the 3, then I hope to fucking God you enjoyed 7 and Village. Because if you didn't enjoy 7 and Village, but you enjoyed the remakes, then why the hell are you asking for new games when you don't even enjoy them? And you enjoy the remakes. Anyway, not saying that's this person, I'm just saying in general. Sorry, I have to give subtext of common sense because we're here. If you played Dead Space Remake, would you say it's about the same? Dead Space Remake made some characters better, others considerably worse, poor Hammond. And gameplay is overall generally poo, but it feels unnecessary. Just give a nice remaster with upgraded post-processing. Thanks to the video bug. Thank you for the comment. No, I thought Dead Space... Like, the thing is... Dead Space Remake was fucking awesome. It's one of the best games I played this year. It's one of the best horror games ever. And yeah, it wasn't too crazy different, but it opened up Dead Space entirely where you could explore the whole space station. It was much more immersive experience. And I thought it was super necessary. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. But I feel like a lot of people just get angry that a remake is a remake. Dead Space Remake literally brought the franchise back to life. Yeah, and this is an important thing too. Dead Space has been dead, and Dead Space is unfortunate. Yo, Rick here. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Kusanagi again. So the thing about Dead Space Remake, and the important thing with Dead Space Remake is that Dead Space 1 and 2 are just as good as Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 4. In my opinion, Dead Space 1 and 2 are two of the best survival horror games ever made, or action horror more so for Dead Space 2, even though I think that game is super scary. And it's been dead, and the poor fucking game died because of one bad release, which is Dead Space 3. And it's a goddamn shame because Dead Space has such a good idea. There are so many good elements at play in that franchise, and sci-fi horror is a rarity nowadays. So if bringing back a good sci-fi horror franchise requires a remake of an amazing game already, giving us another amazing remake, I'll fucking take it. Anyway, Keck W. Okay, Bach, I love you, but you say bad things about some characters and you give a great rating. Okay. Well, sketch humor, I don't know you, but I said Ada's voice was Ada's English voice. Just the English voice was bad. Ada as a character in the game is great. I think her writing is fine, and I love what they did with her character. The English voice actress, yes, is bad, in my opinion. Or very different from every other Ada voice actor. But that doesn't mean, just because I comment that Ada's voice is bad and I missed the Sadler radio calls, doesn't mean the characters are bad. Just because I explained the differences between the games and differences between characters does not mean that I think it's bad, which is why I clicked great. It is just people not understanding the English language and words that are coming out of my mouth. Some of the casting or main characters are questionable, to say the least. The main portrayal being Ada, of course, but as Bach said, Krauser didn't feel right at first, and the VA they have for Wesker sounds bland. Not gonna read that one. I thought the characters are fine. Ada's voice is annoying. Krauser. My first playthrough, Krauser, I was like, eh, but all my other playthroughs, I thought it was fine. And the more important part is, me versus the internet today. Now I'm just reading through. Okay, I give a lot, like, this one's fucking horror. I was skimming this with my eyes as I read this one too. Usually I just let these fly, like people typing brain rot and making people typing ridiculously stupid things that their stupid thing they're saying is angry at something I said, but all of their anger is channeled because they don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth, or the English, or they probably do speak English, they just don't understand their own language, most likely. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun. It's fun for us on Twitch, right? You guys love this stuff. Because most people on Twitch are pretty level-headed. And then you read stuff like that. Let's get to this one. This looks good. All right. I don't know, Bach, if you know IDI 4300's channel. I came across this channel through one of Carcinogen CDA. Great start. That's not his name. Carcinogen said that he did not feel the game at all and did not enjoy playing it due to inconsistencies and many underdeveloped mechanics. IDI 4300 bluntly scores RE4 Remake as the worst game he's ever played, showing broken mechanics and bugs, including the script and characters, which is less important. He describes the game as an unfinished pre-alpha, and the new Capcom from the post-RE7 era as bunglers and losers. Interestingly, he also mentions you as an example of an ignorant person who, through his reach, confuses people's heads by promoting this, quote, crap. Perhaps some of you know this channel. There are a lot of broken mechanics shown in detail. I say this because as a casual I had a great time playing this game, even though I died hundreds of times. However, people like Carsey or this IDI 4300, so people trying to beat RE games at their highest difficulties no damage, define RE4 Remake as terrible shit compared to the original, and people who play it as, hey, that will praise whatever Capcom is gonna give them. Where do I begin? So, Loco, you gotta see a counselor first off. No, you don't actually have to, but what you're saying, this is basically like gibberish. Like, many underdeveloped you can literally, if you're saying this about RE4 Remake, you can literally say this about every other fucking Resident Evil game on Earth. Like, broken mechanics and bugs, including the script and characters. This person's basically saying two content creators that he watches didn't like it, so it's gotta be bad. But I don't even know where to begin with this. I mean, do I even need to talk about this? Like, this is brain fucking rot incarnate. And like, this, where is it? RE4 Remake as the worst game ever played. Like, to me, that means you've only played a couple games in your whole life. Like, it's fine if people don't like RE4 Remake. That's fine. It's fine if people don't like it. But when you try and bring your own personal opinion of like your own anecdotal experience with the game and label it as like, take this actually well-polished, well-developed, working game and label it as like not working. If you replaced RE4 Remake, like if you hid the word RE4 Remake, you could think he's talking about Bubsy 3D here. But anyone with a brain knows that RE4 Remake is one of the most developed Resident Evil games, and it's working more correctly than most Resident Evil games. This is just a super emotional comment charged by two influencers he likes. Alright. Oh, this one looks good. Anyway, this is just brain rot. Alright, so typical Capcom shill. Hey, dipshit. Well, I can make this person seem like a fucking idiot real quick. Typical Capcom shill. Yeah, I'm totally a Capcom shill. I am 100% a Capcom shill. Where's the other one? I won't find it. I'm looking for RE3 Remake. Typical Capcom shill. Listen, dude. Guy's brain dead on main. Alright, let's read this. Praising this turd like it has anything on the original. Laugh my ass off. I'm gonna predict right now he's a soul versus soulless enjoyer. All the charm and charisma was stripped out. The best lines gone. Any sex-based memes or references gone. Sex-based memes. It's just RE2R engine gameplay with some basic story beats from RE4. Hey, dipshit, that reminds me of Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 1 Remake, 0, and Code Veronica. The exact same game with different story beats. I'm pretending to be you. The simple fact that these pathetic, disgusting reimaginers who make games are now able to get away with stripping out all the stuff that made the game a timeless classic and replace it with generic third-person action tropes and generic horror elements. Who effing cares if the original didn't have perfect story exposition? It clearly didn't need that to become the beloved classic that it is today. We lost all the great memes. Okay, you already said this, but Ballistic's senior moment perhaps? And Sadler's response to this was just perfect. We lost the cool interactions and dynamic between Leon and Ada, because feminists write this crap, and can't have anything that makes them feel insecure about themselves. Okay, person is clearly suffering something in the brain. Thus we only get generic, strong, empowered female energy from girls in RE4 Remake. No more overtime at the end. No more no thanks, bro. Don't even mention the achievement. That's fake fan stuff. Either the line is in or it's not. They had a real opportunity to bring back one of the greatest games of all time and make it fresh. Well, they did, but you're just suffering some mental issues. Instead, they released this modernization with none of the heart of the original. It's a normie consumer game. Dude, you are like an NPC. The people who made it were all suits sitting in a boardroom deciding the best ROI, not what would be the best legacy for RE4. Anyone who praises the game, as far as I'm concerned, is just another normie gamer with no nuance in their taste in games. If it checks the boxes of spooky game, these dumb normies will eat it up. That's why this shill here will probably also like Silent Hill 2 Remake. I've literally been preaching that Silent Hill Remake's probably gonna suck ass, because the people remaking games these days now have no love or understanding for the original vision of the artistic creation. They just put their own modern agendas into it. It's like falling in love with the Mona Lisa. Then they announce they are re-releasing a new paint that will have more detail than ever before. But when you see it, it's fucking Mona Lisa. Looks like a modern OF model taking a selfie, saying, "Get the bag, queen." Alright, so yeah, this person is clearly just angry about the females. Typical TLDR, typical Capcom shill. Of course he loved it. Well, you were already objectively wrong in your first 3 words, so anyways, the only normie here is you. You need some self-reflection. And if your enjoyment of a video game revolves around a couple sexual themes and classic one-liners as opposed to the rest of the 14 hours plus of video game there, then you got other fish to fry. Alright, omitting U3 and the radio banter between U3, guys, I don't know what's with all the U3 comments. Maybe it won't be, but like, in my mind, it's a no-brainer that it's gonna be in separate ways. Separate Ways should have been on launch. Well, if you want a real remake, Separate Ways wasn't at launch for Resident Evil 4 original either. Not to mention, Separate Ways in the original RE4 is fucking horrible. It's literally an asset flip. Well, it's okay. Saying it's fucking horrible is a stretch. It's fine. It's like a 5 out of 10 DLC. They made that DLC. They quickly made that DLC just to sell different ports of the game and promote. Separate Ways is another reason to buy it, but Separate Ways is legit just an asset flip. You visit the same areas, you do the same stuff, you fight the same enemies, use mostly the same weapons for the most part. Oh no, you have the crossbow, and the different shotgun that just feels the exact same, but Separate Ways, I digress. Separate Ways is just an asset flip with some story elements to it. Okay. Omitting U3 and the radio banter between Leon and Salazar. Yeah, I was sad that they removed the radio banter too. Sadler is engaged too late to be invested in his douchebaggery. He was brought in a little too late. And I just kind of love how smug Salazar kept being until you finally pushed him to use his right hand. As far as mercenaries goes, I kind of like it, but hate that they capped it off a set number of enemies. Yeah, they could have changed that. I agree. I did not enjoy RE4 2023. Dude, there's been some fucking bangers here in the comment section. Alright, let's see. I did not enjoy RE4 2023 very much, TBH. I especially dislike the gameplay controls. Leon's movement feels terrible. The random spread sucks. Enemies spamming the grab attack is annoying. The lack of iframes on animations is stupid. Unreliable stagger feels awful. Such a downgrade. Well, I mean, in RE4 Remake, God, people misremember stuff very easily. So RE1 has no iframes. RE2 has very few iframes. RE3 has very few iframes. RE3's iframes work against you. CVX, that's okay iframes. And yeah, RE1, Remake, and 0. Now, okay, there's less action in those games. It doesn't matter as much. But here's how they balanced, I don't know, people don't realize this. Here's how they balanced the lack of iframes in RE4 Remake. Yes, RE4, when you kick an enemy, every single fucking, it's like you just shot off a nuke. Everything in the 8-mile radius falls on the ground and you run by it. But the difference between the two games is on Professional and RE4 Original, one attack can take you to like 1 health. In RE4 Remake, you can suffer like 4 attacks before you die. Depending on the enemy, obviously. Like if you get hit by, you know, Krauser's freaking main attack, yeah, you're dropping. But in RE4 Original, a lot of attacks bring you to like 1 health. Brutal. And then RE4 Remake, yeah, you can get attacked a couple times, but like the thing I don't understand, and I could say this with great confidence, all the complaints about the iframes on animations, guys, when you speedrun the game, you literally run through enemies. That's all you do. You run by every enemy, or you try to. So why I say that is that puts you in the most situations possible per run to get stuck in those situations. And even in the speed run, when you're throwing yourself in the worst situations possible, that shit rarely happens. Like if you do an 8-hour stream, yeah, in the village when you're surrounded by like 30 Ganados, it's gonna happen a few times. But for the most part, that is an extreme rarity. And if you find that happening on your casual playthrough so many times that it actually makes you dislike that aspect of the game or makes you angry at the game, that's a you problem. That's because you just dive bomb into like 50 enemies, start spraying your pistol, and then a couple enemies grab you and kill you, and you get angry because you couldn't stand in the middle of the village surrounded by 30 Ganados and just shoot, and they all fall down like paper. It's not a problem with the game, it's a problem with the player. I don't think that many games, like RE4 Remake does have iframes, and they're fine. But the thing is, like, I can't believe people would rather that you walk into village, you get grabbed by a Ganado, then you have like 10 seconds of free time to run through the next like 20 mobs. That'd be so stupid. Like, it's already bad enough that they just stand there and stare at you. In RE4 Original, they just stand there and stare at you forever. When you go back and play the original, oh my god, the Ganado sections feel like a cakewalk. But anyway, doesn't matter. And the controls of RE4 are... RE4 has tank controls, by the way. A lot of people don't realize this. And they are not snappy. But see, this is probably someone that played on controller, and the control, to be devil's advocate, the controller controls are far worse than PC, so. This is a joke because I said that my video is going to make people angry, which it did. The music is lacking, sure. Dude, I want to find someone talking about... One sec. I'm only gonna check a couple more of these. Alright, let's see. What's that video called? Who's... Ah. Good, someone. Alright, let's see. Okay, giving great on sound is the last proof he is ultra biased and gives perfect so he doesn't get in beef with the publisher. Like, get in beef with the publisher, dude. I was given a free copy of Exoprimal and I've been driving that game to the fucking mud. Like, this comment alone already says that you don't know enough to comment on videos like this in that manner, like get in beef with the publisher. I don't know anyone that works at Capcom. I just get free copies of the games because I have thousands of hours streamed of them and I have a talent agency that I ask for the copy and they'll be like, here you go. Probe Cat literally shows how much better the sound design is in the OG and it's just laughable. In a way, it makes sense. He doesn't shit on the game in the survey. I know what you mean. He also said difficulty wasn't... okay, I touched on that earlier. Open your ears. People have already pointed out the audio and remake across videos low. Yeah, okay, so... And there's 5 likes to this. Guys, if you use Krob's Cat's video to prove your point, you've already lost. That video is literally made to cater to people that can't fully use their brains. He made that video to make sure people watching that didn't think for themselves would think that RE4 original had like vastly better sound design because he lowered the sound for every scene in RE4 Remake that he showed. He lowered the sound in the settings. He lowered the brightness in the settings so that RE4 Remake couldn't sound and look more like shit if he tried. Because spoiler alert, he already tried. He already made it look and sound like shit. People that like watch that video and like are empowered by it, running to comment sections of people praising RE4 Remake are fucking brainless, dude. Like, you are brainwashed. That's all there is to it. And it's like public knowledge at this point. It'll take like one Google search, one look on Twitter. Like, that video was disproven almost instantly. And guess what? As someone that has hundreds of hours in RE4 original and remake, someone linked me Krobcat's video before it went viral. It was like, Bawk, you gotta watch this. Like, I want to know what you think. And within a minute of watching that video, I was thinking to myself, like, this is so weird. Like, this feels like... This does not feel genuine at all. Am I crazy? I mean, I'm thinking to myself, am I crazy? And then I scrolled to the comments, and I seen all the comments were like, wait, what the hell? Does he have RE4 muted? Why is this part so dark? Yada, 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 yada. And then it hit me, I'm like, wait, I'm not crazy. This video is just by an RE4 Remake hater that wants to bring in this crowd of people. Exactly. It's just outrage click. It just... He just wants this exact thing. God, people are fucking stupid. And I hate when these stupid people run to comment sections like this. Like, and this is 5 upvotes, as if I'm the stupid one. And that's why this makes me angry. It's not, it's that you think I'm stupid. But in reality, you're the factually dumb one. You fell for the old bait and switch. Hook, line, and sinker. And then you're saying I did. Like, it's nuts. Anyway. Here, eat this apple, and you hand someone an orange. Oh man, I love apples. That's you. And that's most people that enjoyed Krobcat's video. Or not so much enjoyed it, but... Look, I don't want to be that guy, but didn't you complain Village's hardest mode was too hard for average players, and then turn around and say Resident Evil 4 wasn't hard enough? What exactly do you want from them? I think Village's Shadows is great. I think Resident Evil 4 doesn't have a hard enough difficulty. Me, personal. Because guess what? Someone like myself And unlike many people in these comment section, or well, I can separate my personal thoughts between like critical thoughts that help the game. So yes, I want like a nightmare mode in RE4 Remake that one-shots you at every turn, because I want a reason to replay the game and make content on the game and make more money off of the game. Now, do I think it needs a nightmare mode to become a better game? Fuck no. Do I think Village of Shadows is too hard for the casual player? Yes. Do I think Village of Shadows was too hard for myself, and was I angry at the difficulty myself? No. Village of Shadows was some of the best stuff that's ever happened to this stream. Like, people were super happy watching Village of Shadows. I was super happy playing Village of Shadows. Like, I hate that I have to explain this stuff, because it should be common sense. Bro, we already know you're stupid. You don't have to post twice. Okay, any more gold here? Oh, Village of Shadows is harder than RE4 Remake Pro, yeah. Go off, Queen. Oh, thank you, Pro. Look! Oh my god. The great thing about going through YouTube comments is you get to read both extremes. He's the most honest and sensible of all YouTubers that talk about Resident Evil. The others are all complete shills, willing to say anything is good, no matter how awful it is. They'll point out something wrong if everyone else does first. Typical Capcom shill, praising this turd like it has anything on the original. Laughed my ass off. Oh, man. Gotta love YouTube comments. The duality of a man, yeah. Any new comments since I started the stream? You guys are itching for more, eh? No. Oh, look! Yeah! Guys! Go play more Exoprimal if you want fun games. Oh, get Fallon! Oh my, it's the fellas! Look at them all! God, this, but for real, just to sum it all up, like, this stuff makes me so sad. I know people can't be mind readers and whatnot, and a lot of people can't sense sarcasm, but one of the worst things in YouTube comments, like on Twitch, if you watch the channel, like, you can just ask questions straight up, and it's very easy to know what kind of person you're watching or where their opinions lie, and if you're unsure, you could just state it in the chat and they'll answer you. But sometimes, not in this comment section, not in this comment section, but there's a lot of times where someone will state, like, they think they're stating a fact about what the content creator thinks, like, you know, this person with the audio and me with the characters and whatnot. When in reality, they just weren't paying enough attention to the words or not using common sense to fill in the blanks. And you'll have this dog pile of people that are angry at you for thinking something that you don't think, and thinking you're stupid for thinking this thing that you never thought in the first place. It's just like, man. But a lot of it, I'm very self-aware. A lot of it for me and people that watch me is just what I said earlier, where I separate my personal opinion from a critical opinion, where, like, personally, I love Resident Evil Survivor, but it's a full price game with All reused assets. You know, I'm not insane. Like, I love Resident Evil Survivor. Oh, I can't believe he loves Resident Evil Survivor. It's such shit. I love Resident Evil Survivor. I never said it was a good game. It sucks. It's a fucking shit game. I love it though. But see, I can separate those two things. Personal and critical. And a lot of people just mash them together. Like, I would say most people in YouTube comments just mash them together. They don't care. Like, they're just like, they'll just emotionally drive their whole argument. Blows my fucking mind. I'm getting dizzy. Oh. Yo, what's cake? Vincent, it's me, your mother. Man, this has been a trip. This was fun. Holy shit, have I been doing this for almost an hour? My god. Yeah, we're here. No, I don't think so. Sign-in. Sure, yeah, Snake. I mean, I would like these people to think inward. What I said is just gonna make them even angrier, but that's all good. This is probably my favorite one, though. If I were to pick a favorite. This one's actually pretty good, too.